So, angiogenesis. Angiogenesis. Simple, the development of new blood vessels. So when you have something that has in it angiogenesis inhibitors, you have something that potentially works against cancer. Because cancer, the cells have a short duration of life. And cancer survives by continually growing quickly, rapid growth, abnormal rapid growth. If your body can't supply blood vessels for new growth, then cancer can't grow. And as it dies, it atrophies, disappears from the body completely. So one of the keys to the suggestion that noni juice has anti-cancer properties is most likely going to be found in the observation of its angiogenesis inhibitor capacity, and its capacity as an angiogenesis inhibitor. There are studies out there that have concluded that noni is potentially helpful against cancer, if only slightly. But there's some research that actually uses quite strong determinate language in how effective noni might be in helping cancer. In one of these studies, the scientists were studying a comparison between Cisplatin, which is a known chemotherapy drug, and noni juice. The Cisplatin showed slightly higher cell killing as compared to noni, and their combination showed additive effects. I mean, hold on. Cisplatin is an anti-tumor agent generally used for treatment. Let's look at cisplatin for a minute. Let's see what quickly comes up about it. And let's look at its side effects too. Okay, so it's a chemotherapy drug, and it's classified as an alkylating agent. It's used to treat testicular, ovarian, bladder, head and neck, esophageal, small and non-small cell lung, breast, cervical, stomach, and prostate cancers. Also to treat Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphomas, neuroblastoma, sarcomas, multiple myeloma, melanoma, and mesothelioma. Okay, so it's given through the vein in an IV infusion. There's no pill for it. It is an irritant, a chemical that can cause inflammation of the vein through which it's given. If it escapes from the vein, it can cause tissue damage. The nurse or doctor who gives it needs to be carefully trained. Before and after the infusion, IV fluids are given, and it requires adequate hydration before and during and after to protect your kidney function. Okay, so side effects. Most people do not experience the side effects or any side effects. They're predictable. They are most always reversible. Okay, so what are they? Nausea, vomiting, kidney toxicity, blood test abnormalities, low white blood cells, low red blood cells. Less common side effects. Those are the most common. Least common. Peripheral neuropathy. Decreased sensation of the parathesis, numbing and tingling of extremities, loss of sense, sensory loss, numbness, tingling, difficulty in walking. Hearing loss, ringing in the ears, loss of appetite, taste changes, metallic taste, increased blood test measuring liver function, hair loss, fertility issues. In less than 10%, the side effects in less than 10% are not listed. So it's not the most safe thing to take. How does it work? Normal cells stop dividing when they come into contact with like cells, a mechanism known as contact inhibition. Cancer tumors do not have the ability to control this. Cancer cells no longer have the normal checks and balances in place to control and limit cell division. The process of cell division, whether normal or a cancer cell, is through the cell cycle. The cell cycle goes from resting phase through active growing phase and then into mitosis, division. The ability of chemotherapy to kill cancer cells depends on its ability to halt cell division. Usually the drugs work by damaging RNA or DNA that tells the cell how to copy itself in division. If the cells are unable to divide, they die. The faster the cells are dividing, the more likely it is that chemotherapy will kill the cells, causing the tumor to shrink. They also induce cell suicide, self-death, or apoptosis. Unfortunately, chemotherapy does not know the difference between cancer cells and normal cells. Normal cells will grow back and be healthy, but then in the meantime, side effects occur. Cisplatin is classified as an alkylating agent. Alkylating agents are most active in the resting phase of the cell. These drugs are cell cycle non-specific. There are several types of alkylating agents, like mustard gas derivatives, ethylamines, alkylosulfonates, hydrazines, nitrosamines, metal salts. And metal salt, Cisplatin is a metal salt. So, Noni juice is 100% pure fruit juice, fresh fermented for 3 to 5 weeks. You pick it, you put it in a tub, and you seal it, and then you drain the juice. 100% pure, fresh Noni juice. It's a dry vinegar. We demonstrate here that Noni and Cisplatin by themselves and their combination were able to induce apoptosis in both these cell lines, the LIHA and the SHIHA cell lines of cervical cancer. Cisplatin showed slightly higher cell killing as compared to Noni. Slightly higher. So Noni plays a central role in the primary prevention of mitochondrial-dependent degenerative disorders. That's a comment by Hock J. Cancer. This is a abstract from, hey, you know what? I don't know when. Oh, wait. 2013. Gupta R.K., Banner J.A., Pathak S., and Sharma C. and Singh N. So there are studies that have concluded Noni as only slightly as effective as known chemotherapy drugs. Which goes to support many of the testimonials that I've received of people who have seen serious help from Noni juice. Sometimes while they're taking chemo. In one case, a man said that out of a group of maybe 5, he was the only one who didn't get sick during chemotherapy because he was using Noni juice. Another inoperable tumor disappeared before the time came when the doctors had told this person that they would be dead. The goal isn't to tell you that you need to take Noni juice because it will heal you. I can't, even if I had some way of knowing that would be true, I wouldn't tell you that. But I think it's imperative that you have some credible evidence-based rational idea of what's going on here, because there are a lot of people out there, a lot of groups that want to take natural products down at all cost, and they are not in, though they operate by science and rational peer-reviewed articles to generate the products that they suggest. They're not willing to concede the same science to natural products. If you're working with a natural product, suddenly you are not allowed to utilize scientific evidence in relaying your product's capacities. Oh, they'll say the dosage has not been analyzed correctly to tell you exactly what will we say. Take what you find works best for you. It's a food. No, it's not a food, it's a supplement, they say. Why is it a supplement? If you take 2 ounces, you've had well over an entire fruit worth of juice, and it's fermented at around 98% solubility. So you're essentially drinking the fruit through a straw, if you will. No, it's a supplement. Why is it a supplement? It's a food. Even if it were a supplement, it isn't a danger. It hasn't got, well, the side effects haven't been properly examined. They have legal teams prepared with collegiate upper level engines, programmed engines to take down natural foods. And Noni isn't the only one. But I'm not saying that's wrong. I mean, people need to be protected from misinformation. I need to be protected from misinformation. But I don't think we should be protected from information that is not misinformation. If there is a study that shows that Noni is only slightly as effective at killing cancer than Cisplatin, which is a dangerous thing to take and put into your body, I think that we should know that. I think that we should have the right to say, look at this study. This is not a drug. This is a food that has almost the same effectiveness as this drug. But no, you can't do that. But I just want to point out that this study does exist, because you should know about it when you're making up your mind on where you fit with Noni juice, or if it works for you, or if you feel like you want to add it into your diet as a part of your regular program. And someone should have given you the ability or the knowledge to make that decision based on some fact, rather than the hyperbole of a corporation that wants nothing to do with natural products. And you can look for yourself. What are these studies and what do they say? And that's really what it comes down to, is that each of us have to independently figure out what works for us in our path toward health and longevity. And we have to rule out every other objective opinion, and eventually drive on a path toward our own potential through subjective experience, personal subjective experience, that in retrospect we can back up, or we can give the trails to the scientist who can say, this is true, this is not true, this is kind of true, this is what was going on there, and for them to tease it out. We got people coming out of the universities that need things to do, and by following people on the track of health in the evolutionary edge of humanity, they have plenty of work to do. Because the people that are cutting new ground in physical achievement, they're not necessarily the doctors and the researchers. But those researchers, instead of being put in charge of observing molecules in small differentiations on effects of subsets of the population, they should be looking at the people that are excelling in health and finding out what exactly are they doing that these others are not. Because the healing, the cure, is in the people who are not getting the disease. And you could say, well, they might get it in the future. You can't say that someone that doesn't get the disease has within them the cure of the disease. There's so many factors. Yeah, there are so many factors. The same factors that rule into figuring out what chemical is going to work on the lowest common denominator of sickness effectively with the right statistic of acceptable loss. Noni juice happens to have some credit in the scientific community for its benefits worldwide. And if the cancer people are serious about finding cures that work for the majority of humanity in a economical way, they'll start looking at the principles of diet and foods that show to be as effective as their chemotherapy drugs. Because I've been living all the way back to this with the idea that cancer is a plague that cannot be cured. And I've seen in my days billions of dollars spent on finding a cure. And I've seen family members and friends die of cancer acceptably, for there is no cure. And I just think that individually you have to take it in your own hands. At the same time, you have to pay respect to the medical facility that is there to take care of you to the best of their interest and to the best of their capacity. And it's just a little bit odd to me that natural products and diet is rarely on the list when it comes to giving someone an honest road toward reversal, recovery, and longevity, free of illness. And I know this is a little bit off the topic of Noni, but you have to go off the topic a little bit to get to the root of the problem in perception that we're dealing with. It's just a very simple line here, written by the scientist in India. Cisplatin showed slightly higher cell killing as compared to Noni, and their combination showed additive effects. To me, what that says is we need to get Noni to all these cancer patients who are on Cisplatin. And if you're not, then you're simply ignoring the science. And if you're not ignoring the science, I think that it's fair for me to ask, why not then? Why are you not, if this is false science, show it as false. Do the study yourself and show it as false. But it seems like if any culture was serious about a cure and serious about helping people, that any time that something like this came up in 2013, 3 years ago, those who have all that money for cancer research should get a little pop-up window that says, whoa, look at this. We need to figure out if this is actual or not. Not, let's find out why it's actual and then see how we can market it to, which is what I assume the overall plan is, because it's not being done. What is being done? I want to know. I want answers. Am I going to get them? Probably not. But we should all wonder why. Why, if someone says Noni is only slightly as effective at killing cancer than a known chemotherapy drug, an anti-tumor agent, is Noni not on the list of cures? or remedies, or the same list as the chemotherapy in priority use to the medical establishment. Well, I wonder, let's see if there's if you can find out how much Cisplatin cost. No, not there. The Cisplatin, the penicillin of cancer. No mention of its price, but it's considered the chemotherapy of cancer. The what did they say? The penicillin of cancer? And Noni is only slightly less effective than the penicillin of cancer? $80,000 for 4 weeks. Okay, let's look at this. $80,000 for 4 weeks of Cisplatin. Okay, $80,000. Now, in the grossest example of Noni promotion to cancer people that have been done or that I've seen is when they have said you need to take 32 ounces a day for 10 days and cut that down every 10 days until you get to 4 ounces of a maintenance dose. That's a lot. I know he just thought something like 50 gallons or something like that. I don't know the math. But that said, 50 gallons of Noni juice, I know a place you can get that for around $30 a gallon for $1,500. Only slightly less effective than the penicillin of cancer.